Hey, how you doing? Honor play for this week. Is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree too hard? Mm. Could Black Myth Wukong be the Elden Ring for character action games fans? We'll see. Was Nintendo's Direct a winner post Summer Game Fest? Double A and indie devs say it's not worth putting games on Xbox if it's not on Game Pass. All of this and more on Season 8, Episode 25 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Boss from Far Cry 3 has got me pretty high, but we still managed to beat him. I'll talk about more of that later. I am joined by,
Sean MF Ross.
what does the M and F stand for?
Mr. Fat don't like to get wet.
Ah! Oh, man. Now you know who we are. Press X Star Gamers Digest is a video podcasting against the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. Pointing to you, sir, ma'am, they, them, whoever. Thank you for listening. Where was I at? If we are live on YouTube every Sunday when we can make it because life is hard.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Don't forget to support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. If you are listening, we would greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the podcast service you are currently tuned in on. Do it. If you want, you can join our conversations by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Yes. All right. With that being said, I think we can jump into this big old week of gaming news. Number one. Which three devs congratulates From Software after Elden Ring DLC of the Erdtree overtakes Blood and Wine as best reviewed expansion ever? This comes to us from IGN by way of. Wait. I almost said by way of IGN. This comes to us from IGN by way of Wesley Yingpool. Actually, let me do a little quick little check right quick. Let me just check something right quick. I am wanting to make sure. Yes, it works. Okay, cool. All right. So yes, as the title suggests, the Witcher 3's DLC Blood and Wine was the highest reviewed DLC of this modern gaming era. And not Bloodborne. Jeez, Bloodborne's on mine for some strange reason.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree has overtaken their
their
top score.
Yeah, if you create a whole separate game and then call it DLC, like
right.
It says it's a 25 to 30 hour thing. Like, come on, 20 to 25 hour.
Yeah, it's a weird thing of this is going to be the rock block of Elden Ring that we're going to talk about because it is out and it's a big thing, and of course, anytime Elden Ring is brought up, everyone flocks to it because.
Did you platinum it?
No.
Oh,
I beat that game. And I said,
every platinumed it.
Yeah, no, props to him. I beat that. My time with Elden Ring was very much so like, I don't understand this game until I understood you don't respect this game, you disrespect this game. So whatever you need to do to get ahead, you take that and then you just carry it forward. Like at there's because one of the things, okay, it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because Elden Ring is so old. One of the summons you can get in the game is called a mimic tier, and that will essentially copy your character. So at a certain point, I was buffing myself and then copying that buffed character and then just double teaming whoever got my way. It was just like, hey, man.
Jumping things.
Exactly.
Fight back.
Exactly. I mean, there's people like Let Me Solo Her who, try to make the game extremely hard for themselves just to overcome the challenge or whatever. And it's like,
I
hey,
think
man,
they retired now.
cool.
They have a new person called Let Me Comic Them or something like that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. And I respect that, you want to play the game that way. And, people were flocking to that person because they were beating the hardest boss with like crazy things that, that's cool. But yeah, so yes, Witcher 3's expansion Blood and Wine was currently sitting at is currently sitting at 92 on
Mm.
Metacritic. Elder Shadow of the Erdtree is sitting at a 95 on Metacritic. It's sitting at 95 or 94 on OpenCritic. But yeah, this is really, really high remarks for Elden Ring's DLC slash expansion thing that they have going on. I mean, props to them. I think
Yeah.
the conversation is going to be, do does the gaming media prop this up in the game of the year conversation? I don't think it should.
They should have a separate thing for DLCs because this just ain't fair.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be
I think
damned
it
if
could.
they overtake Infinite Wealth
All right, yeah,
this
right.
goddamn year.
RPG.
Damn it.
But like, it's one of the things where it's like they could probably throw it into like best ongoing game, but I don't even think that really fits this too much. And I also
They need
think
to have a
that's not
best
gonna take that.
DLC thing
Yeah,
for Game
yeah,
Awards and
yeah,
whoever else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting conversation. We'll see. But yes, that is that. Number two, we're staying on the Elden Ring track. Actually, I was supposed to play this little video that they got going on for the trailer, and I didn't even bother doing that. I was
Hmm.
too busy talking. Too busy talking. Yes, number two, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree debuts to mixed Steam reactions. The base game never felt this ridiculously difficult. So this goes to us from Games Radar by Con Surin. There's performance woes. Performance woes are also contributing to a divisive reception. So
Hmm.
essentially, this game is friggin' hard with a caveat. Um, yeah. So this game is hard because the leveling up system is different, and I feel like they as in From Software made it clear that there's a different way of leveling in this DLC content versus the normal Elden Ring style of like leveling up the runes. I don't know, but yes, I've heard from a lot of sources that
Yeah.
this DLC is hard, and this DLC is like you take your level whatever character, and
Well,
you're still getting
they
pieced
said
up.
they said it was gonna be different, so you can't take
Yeah,
your level. Even Avery said he had a level 170 something character and he was getting two
yeah,
shotted by bosses. So
yeah.
treat this
Which
game
is
like a
which is
bitch if you want to.
yeah. So it basically they found a way of restarting that character level progression
Hmm.
and essentially jumping into this game like a level 0 character, which I don't know how I feel about that personally, but I feel like that's pretty on brand for From Software dealing
Well, I
with
mean,
these
they don't
Souls
want
games.
people who just sat there over leveled and did new game plus
Just
10
roll through
times
it.
and just steamrolling the shit and be like, this was
Yeah,
easy. This was nothing. Like,
right.
yeah,
Which
I
makes sense.
applaud
Which
them. I applaud them for taking this approach to it.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm just gonna read from the article. On Steam, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree currently sits at a mixed rating based on over 12,000 user reviews as of the time of writing. This means 38% of PC players walked away from the Lands of Shadow with a negative reaction, a far cry from the base game's glowing 93% positive reception based off a whopping 627,000 reviews. So it is to note that these reviews are essentially day one,
Hmm.
and you know this is a this is a Souls game. So those those that initial reaction, this initial reception is definitely going to change by the time these people are actually done with the game. So it's one of the things where it's like right now it's sitting at a mixed rating because I think a lot of people are just upset that their cool character that they built spending 100 plus hours in Elden Ring is getting washed in this DLC. And it's just like, there's a part of that doesn't feel fair, and I totally understand that. Like
They're just
my
learning that
character
they're
is
not the main
100.
character.
Yeah, essentially, like you're you're basically coming into this DLC with like this cool character that you had that's basically just shadow dressing. Like it doesn't make a difference. Like you could do
Mm,
whatever and you're still gonna get washed because of just you're just level one at this game or this DLC. But yeah, like my main character is 179, I guess level 179. And like I was going back and forth about do I just get this DLC? Do I just wait? And I think I'm going to wait a little bit and see how this all plays out. I don't think From Software is going to budge at this. I think they're going to be like it this is what it is, like this is how we've always been kind of thing. So, we'll see cuz like I there's a couple of games that I have lined up that's going to
mm.
happen not next week but the week after. Um so yeah, I mean there's not too much to say about this other than these people are upset and I get it. I get it. I'd be upset too, but I'm not really a Souls player, so everything kind of upsets me about this game.
Rough.
Uh, yeah. So, number three, just to end off the Elden Ring talk, From Software boss addresses gaming industry layoffs. As long as this company's my responsibility, I will not let that happen. This comes from PC Gamer by way of ooh, West. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I pull up the wrong thing? No. I
Uh,
didn't. I was right. I was right. By West Fenlong.
Finland.
Yes. So Miyazaki describes From Software's relationship with parent company mm, Kado- Kadokawa and references Satoru Itawa's perspective on layoffs. So essentially, this goes to say that they they as in Miyazaki wants to keep the company together because if you keep the company together, they are able to grow off each other and build off each other and continue making these masterclass in struggle games. So yeah, that makes total sense. Like that the problem with the industry is that there is not enough betting, not enough long-term betting happening. So a lot of these companies are betting in the short term, stuff don't go well, and then they just lay off people. And it's like when you lay off that portion of your studio now is set back and they have to add more people to the studio, build that relationship up again, and then build that work experience up again. Where we have From Software who I don't remember the last time they've even had like layoffs to really talk about.
Yeah.
Like this studio is just growing and building off of each other, building off of these relationships and creating these games. And like that's sort of what you need to do. Like to be said, I think really and truly the only other publisher that really kind of has this mentality is Sony in a way. In that like you have Naughty Dog, you have Insomniac, Sucker Punch,
What do you mean as far as
I would
laying off
say.
people?
Yeah, like they don't really have any massive layoffs for those devs.
Okay, for those specific.
For
Yeah,
for those specific devs. Yeah, yeah. Because like those
I'd
are
say
like
I'd say Nintendo as a whole.
yes, yeah, you're right, Nintendo. Although Nintendo is weird in terms of them being a publisher, but not really
Publisher and dev.
well, I mean they that's what they are, but they don't really focus on like the developers as a studio other than like they're just all under Nintendo, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, because
no,
like
that makes sense.
yeah, it's like yeah, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, this is cool. Like I absolutely praise Miyazaki for like having this mentality and just understanding the importance of keeping your developers around and having them be in these same teams for years. It just makes sense. If only Embracer would you know, understand that. Although
Mm.
they're in a different sort of hot water. But we're not talking about them. That has been it for Press X and Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget, if you're listening, please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, whatever podcast service you're currently tuned in on. Don't forget to wash your hands because bugs are still out there and they're gonna get you sick. They're gonna get you sick. And don't forget, just have a good day. Be safe, take care, play some video games. All right, guys.